Hello everyone, this is Starman, and welcome back to Let's Play Blade Runner. Now, last time you'll recall, we got to see some of the endings of the game, and the different little things that can happen if you stay to the straight and true path, trying to be a good Blade Runner, and if all goes well, you can wind up with a huge retirement bonus, a promotion, and a partner who's willing to work under you in every sense of the word. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, love, say no more. But there are a lot of other endings to this game, as I mentioned before, and we're going to get to see not only some of the alternate endings, but some of the different little things in the gameplay that change up depending upon whatever random dice rolls are made whenever you start a new game. And the very first place we're coming back to is Howie Lee's, because there's quite a bit here that can happen depending upon how you first approach Zuben. Now, the obvious one is that you have two conversation options. You can either try and do a void conf test or ask him about Lucy, but there's never a little subtle difference here.
Howie says you're a master chef.
You not come back here. Air bad.
This'll only take a minute. You know this girl or not?
Nope. I know who I know, and who I don't know. I don't know her.
Think hard.
Okay. Maybe seen her once. At station. Riding north on bullet train.
North, huh?
Now, if you just stand here, he'll overturn the cauldron, and he'll get a head start, and you'll have no way of catching up with him. As you can see, we can run around the corner. And we keep running toward where we normally would find him. Run, 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 run.
Locked.
Yeah, but the door's locked, and we can't progress any further.
North, huh?
Okay, now this time I jumped out of the way, but suppose I get a little trigger happy running around the corner.
He was just an old bum. Not Howie's cook, and certainly not a replicant. I'd screwed up, plain and simple. If I was going to get clear of this, I needed to tell Guza, and the sooner the better.
Yeah, you actually can wind up accidentally killing the homeless man who you run into later, and not only does that not get you the information that he gives you, but unless you go to your lieutenant immediately and attempt to, throw yourself on his mercy and beg for a favor to get this swept under the rug, you can actually get arrested for this, and it ends the game. And I think the time that you take shooting him also keeps you from being able to catch up with Zuben. Oh, actually, I could be wrong. Unfortunately, the minute shots are fired, you have no option other than to kill him. But what if there were another way? Now, we're chasing after him. We have not killed the bum this time. Now, if we put our gun away...
Relax. Nobody's gonna get retired, okay?
What do you want from Zuben?
Just talk, that's all.
So talk.
There are things I want to know.
Ah, police.
I'm McCoy, LPD Rep Detect Unit.
Rep detect?
Sometimes we're called Blade Runners.
Nice reflexes there, Ray.
Locked.
Just runs past you and locks the door. And it looks like, as before, Gaff has come up to check on us, but unlike before, he will not be nearly as praiseworthy of us.
Rumor has it you've been earning your stripes, McCoy.
Working on it.
Keep it up. You just might have a future in this business.
I understand it's got a hell of a retirement plan.
I checked with UN Air. Looks your rep swung that moonbus massacre last month.
They ever find the moon bus?
Disappeared into thin air. Brian thinks it crashed out in the Kipple.
How many reps we talking about?
Enough. They're Nexus 6s. So don't take too much slack.
Gotcha.
Your target give you the slip? What happened, McCoy? You feel sorry for it?
My game must have been off.
Go home and get some rest. I'm sure you need it.
Well, I feel sufficiently burned. Now, assuming that you spared Zuben's life for one reason or another, you come home and find a different answering machine message waiting for you than the one that Clovis leaves you if you kill Zuben.
Hi, Mr. McCoy. I'm sure you remember me. I heard about what you did for my friend, and I just wanted to say thanks.
The message could have come from any of a dozen people. I'd done my share of favors when I was in uniform. Something about the voice was familiar, but I was too tired to place it for sure. Erase and reset.
And that's all of the major changes that can happen in Act 1. Now, Act 2 is where things really start branching off. Now, as you'll remember from the first time we came here to the Anti-Grav Lab in Act 2, during the first part of the Let's Play, Ray actually noted that somebody had tried hacking into Eisendeller's computer, trying to get some kind of file off of the Tyrell network. And, you know, there were apparently several attempts at trying to guess a password, but you can guess what the password is based on one of two things. Either you find the dog collar with the name of Eisendeller's favorite dog, Ricky, on it, or you can later on, when you're playing with the Esper, find the picture of the favorite dog before it got killed and see the collar that says Ricky, and then come back here and hack the computer, which is what we're going to do.
Someone had tried to access a bunch of protected files on the Tyrell network and failed. Not just once, but a dozen times. Tyrell engineers might forget their passwords, but what would the Grav Lab boys need with replicant DNA sequences and incept dates? Eisendeller had used his dog's name as a password. The Tyrell brass wouldn't be too happy if they knew I was snagging a copy of their files, but someone had wanted them bad enough to kill Eisendeller, so I figured they must be worth having.
Yeah, this is the bit where you find out that Ray, if human, is about as corrupt as Guza when it comes to, hey, somebody was trying to steal this. I'll steal it because it might be worth something later. The irony of it being that you have no idea until later in the game that you actually do need to take these files if you're going to try and help the replicants out later. And there's a very good chance that you can overlook this at the beginning and not know that. So it's almost like they're kind of planning on people playing the game over and over and realizing, oh, okay, I need to go back and do this in order to do this. But that's not the only thing that is different in this room. Now, I mentioned before in the original Let's Play that when you first come to the lab, there will sometimes be a sales brochure on the ground that reveals the identity of one of the replicants in the game. In this case, we have our brochure right here.
It was a Tyrell sales brochure for the Nexus series, the kind of glossy hype that ends up littering the floor at trade shows. This one was for the new entertainment model, a comedian designed to entertain the troops off-world.
And in this case, Gordo, the tacky comedian in the even tackier coat, he is actually a replicant when I did this particular playthrough. And the other possibility for the brochure is that it reveals that Lucy is a replicant.
It was a Tyrell sales brochure for the Nexus series, the kind of glossy hype that ends up littering the floor at trade shows. This one was for last year's infamous Lolita model, a big hit with the all-important dirty old man market.
What, you mean there's a market amongst nerds who want to buy sex bots for underage girls? I am shocked. Shocked, I say. No, but honestly, if we ever start building realistic robots, that's probably going to be the first thing they're built for, and the first major grievance of the robot uprising. But that's just me being a cynical futurist. Now, here's one of the weirder things in the game that can happen that point to McCoy being a replicant. You'll note that there's this box here on the left at the Dragonfly Lady's booth.
Careful, senor. You're poison.
Scorpions?
See? Finest quality. Perhaps you purchased one?
I don't think so. They're beautiful, though. I've never seen one before.
Oh, that'd be true, senor.
Yes, they build realistic robot scorpions with real poison. They completely closed down the FDA in the future, didn't they? But if you click on the box a second time...
Ow! Damn it.
Oh no. I warned you, senor. You will surely die. But you are still standing. The poison, it acts very quickly.
I ain't feeling so good.
If you are not dead already, you will live.
Well, either Ray has the constitution of an Olympic athlete, or maybe he's not quite human. Food for thought. Now, another funny thing that you can try doing in Act 2, you'll note that at Bullet Bob's store, that we have this little cannon that is...
Jesus.
Yeah, the Jesus cannon that is trained upon us, and yet...
Hey, put that away.
I'm gonna put something away, but it ain't gonna be my gun. I'd crossed the line. Bob was a psychopath, but I was almost sure he wasn't a replicant. I didn't have a lot of time, and my options were pretty lousy. Stay and face the music, or take off and hope I didn't get caught. I'd crossed the line. Bob was a psychopath, but I was almost sure he wasn't a replicant.
Oh, I can't rob the store, unfortunately. And I don't think that Bob ever does turn out to be a replicant. He's just, nuts. But you can try doing that.
Hey, put that away.
I'm gonna put something away, but it ain't gonna be my gun.
Now, interesting thing is that if you draw the gun by accident and then put it back,
Little boys shouldn't play with guns.
but you try drawing it a second time, Bob's ready for you. Now, one other big change in Act 2 is that there are different things that can happen based upon whether or not Izo is a replicant. And yes, it does turn out that there is a possibility that Izo will be a replicant. Now, in my original playthrough, he was one, which was why Steel was able to shoot him no problem. But this time, she'll take him alive.
I am not about to have all my hard work obliterated just because you stumbled into my shop, Detective. Westerners need guns and hardware. All I need is will.
Freeze, Yoshi!
Izo,
Whatever. Been keeping yourself busy?
I'll be out of lockup within the hour.
Your little skin job friend's gonna take up a collection to bail you out, or you got it saved up?
Maybe I got friends in high places.
Yeah, and if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. What are you doing here, Slim?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
I've been tracking this boy for a week. Thinks he's pretty clever. He's a material witness in a case I'm working. In fact, your best buddy's a replicant, isn't he? The big guy with the dreadlocks. What's his name again?
Hallucinate often?
That's okay. You'll be giving him up to me soon enough. I can handle it from here, Slim. Why don't you go buy yourself a lollipop? Something else to suck on.
Very
Ew.
clever.
But I wasn't trying to be.
I love sassy redheads so much. But interesting result of this is that after this you can actually go back to the lockup and question Izo a little bit about his connection to the replicants that you're tailing.
I was fresh out of Leeds. Poking around Hawker's circle had been a waste of time. I had nothing to connect this Izo character to the Eisendaler murder. But if the replicants had done in one Tyrell scientist, maybe they'd go after another. And the subcontractors down on DNA Row didn't have Tyrell security to protect them.
So if we go back to the police station at this point, then we can start start trying to dig for more information.
You look right at home in there, Izo.
I've been in much tighter spots than this, McCoy.
I'll bet. But this is only the beginning. You ready to supply me some answers?
I wish I had something to say.
I know your hands are dirty, Izo.
Everybody in this world is trying to better himself, no matter what the terms are. If that counts as dirty, so be it.
The terms of your conviction won't be too clean.
I'll be through with this place long before you, McCoy.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been saving up for a rainy day, selling all those illegal weapons.
One never knows when fate will conspire. You must be prepared.
You're a real trooper, Izo. You look right at home in there, Izo.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all you get. Nothing useful or actionable. Now, in Act 2, if you're looking to go stealing all of the DNA information, you get 2 of the 4 bits of replicant DNA information during this act. There's the bit from Eisendeller's lab, and then the bit from Sebastian's lab, which you just stumble across this as you're chasing after Sadik toward the end of Act 2. And it's a little tricky having to get it, because if you click on his printer, nothing will happen.
More useless junk.
But if you click on the power strip over here first...
Resuming interrupted print job.
DNA research, incept dates, a lot of jargon, but I bet my spinner it was valuable to somebody.
Yep, Ray is a true adventure gaming hero. I have no idea what this is, I have no idea if it'll be useful, but I'm taking it anyway just because I might need it later. Now, in my original Let's Play, I didn't really get a chance to talk to Early Q as much as you can, because I was so busy talking about Stephen Root, the wonderful actor who plays Early Q. So, let's get the full conversation this time.
Early, how's it hanging?
Thick, slick, and hard as a brick. How's yours, General?
Your man gave me a hard time out there.
I like Hanoi, but I can't deny his sphincter's a little tight.
What's on tap tonight?
Classy shows all evening, General. You're going to be able to cut diamonds down there or your money back.
Let's see, we get the option of jewelry or Lucy. Let's go with jewelry first.
You buy some jewelry at an auction recently? Real old, elite stuff?
Who's asking? You ain't with robbery homicide.
No, sir.
Those pieces ain't hot. I got the papers to prove it. I picked them up at legitimate auction. Cost me nearly a pound of flesh, too.
You give this stuff to a girlfriend, Early?
You kidding? I ain't that stupid. No. I was letting one of my dancers use the stuff in her act. Kind of a tribute to the ancient swamp lands, you know what I mean?
Which dancer?
Heck, yeah, Russ. She's going on it, kid. She's one of my biggest earners, too. She ain't in any trouble now, is she?
Not yet.
Good. Wouldn't want to slaughter the goose that lays them golden eggs.
This girl one of yours?
This ain't no daycare center, General. Of course, she ain't half bad looking. My pappy always used to say if there's grass on the field, it's time to play ball.
So, she hasn't been around here?
Nah, she ain't one of mine. Talk to Pappy. He gets most of the petty business around here.
It's men like you that made this country great, Early. Hey, Early.
I'm working right now, General. Ask me later.
So yeah, not much in the way of information, but it does confirm that Early is the one who got the Dragonfly jewelry collection that you've been chasing after, which would seem to suggest that Hecuba, this dancer of his, is involved with the replicants in some way, which, of course, we know she is.
Ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, the ever brilliant Early Q presents the wondrous, mysterious Hecuba, singing and performing the sacred Thanatos dance of the ancient swamp.
Now, one little bit of comedy here. Apart from the fact that this outfit is called a belt, when I don't see a belt anywhere on this thing. is the fact that you will notice that Dectora is dancing on a platform some 15-20 feet above the stage, and yet somehow when I click on her...
Look, but don't touch.
How the heck was I able to touch her? But thankfully, us getting kicked out, I think, well, actually, it will stop us from being able to do another little bit that we overlooked the first time. Now, you'll remember that last time we did break into Early Q's office to discover the receipt for the Dragonfly jewelry purchase and declare that, yes, he did buy it, and yes, it was legitimate. And we also get to see his monitors for spying on the club. But one thing we didn't grab last time is, if you look very closely over here, there's a disc hidden.
I didn't know what was on the disc, but the way Early had hidden it, it was bound to be dirty laundry.
How you doing, General? You got a warrant to show me? You just breaking and entering.
What's on the disc, Early?
Hey, I don't hassle you about your private life. Put it down, McCoy.
Must be something pretty juicy. Your girls know about the cameras?
I got you. You want to trade. The disc for... what?
Let's hear what you got.
What do you say you and I have a drink first,
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Well, it's your lucky day, McCoy. You're in the Garden of Earthly Delight. See, I bet we could find something to whet your wick.
Not interested.
Bull, everyone's interested.
I want information.
You can have whatever your little heart desires, General. Louise, McCoy, you look awful. I'll take the disc. Thanks. Don't worry about a thing, General. Old Early's gonna set you right up.
This must stop happening. And yeah, not really much you can do at this point. Of course, if you were smart and realize that he's up to something, and...
Whoa!
Cough up some dirt, Early, or I'm taking this disc downtown.
You want Victoria? Is that it? The girl with the rep friends? I can give her up. It'd be a hell of a score for you, General. 4, maybe 5 skin jobs.
Sit down.
I'll throw in the night with one of my dancers.
Sit down.
We got a deal or not?
Let's hear what you got.
And then I get the disc.
We'll see. I still got the gun.
You're cold, Jim. But I know you're going to be thankful I put those cameras in. Hey, check out Victoria's bearded boy toy. He's here all the time. You can be sure he ain't coming around for the witty conversation.
I've seen him before. What makes you think he's a replicant?
He walked right by my dancer. Didn't even pop a stiffy.
Maybe he swings another way.
Oh, come on, McCoy. Have you seen my girls? Besides, I heard him talking to Victoria. They got friends who are going to help them get off-world. I'm telling you, they got a whole little replicant love fest going on.
You hear him say anything else?
No, General, I ain't the nosy type.
Yeah, you're a model citizen.
You still have something in mind?
Now, we have the option of giving it back or keeping it. Doesn't really change much, except we can actually see what's on the disc.
The disc? I'm keeping it for now.
We got a deal.
You'll get it back if you behave.
So it's blackmail.
Insurance.
No more free drinks for you, buddy boy.
I didn't get free drinks before.
Get out of my club.
Well, I will get out of the club, but not because he asked, but because I want to swing home and check out what's on that disc. Now, here's the one picture that we got from Early Q's private disk. Now, there is a fair bit that can be seen here. And we get to see Dectora changing into her costume and working on her makeup. But there's also a box over here. And we zoom in.
Where have I seen that before? Give me a hard copy of that.
Yes, if you go back during Act 3, if you got pricked by the scorpion box, the dragonfly lady will say that she sold all of the scorpions to a buyer. It will turn out that the buyer was Dectora, who you'll remember said that she thought that insects were her favorite creature. But there's also something rather disturbing over back here, being reflected in the mirror.
Early, you sick bastard. Give me a hard copy of that.
Yeah, that is Early doing very bad things to Lucy. Him and Runciter. Sad. And it makes me wish there was a way that you could see some kind of justice done on Early Q, but unfortunately, you aren't given the option of going and turning this into the cops afterward. Now, one of the more interesting Act 3 changes, it's interesting academically, but doesn't really have a larger overriding effect on the plot, is that there will be different signs as to the experience level of the bomber that you're chasing after. If you go into Dermo Designs after it's been blown up and Miraji is dead, for instance, you'll get a different narration based on one little factor. And you'll remember in the original Let's Play, Ray commented that the bomb looked as if it had been designed by a pro. It did as much damage as it needed to and no more. But if we go in this time, slightly different.
The guy who'd set the bomb had been sloppy. He kept the charge small enough to leave the wall standing. If he just wanted to take out Miraji, this was overkill. If my instincts were right, he was the same Joker who lit up the Tyrell building. Dangerous, but still an amateur.
And that is the key difference right there, is that if Sadik is a replicant, he was an explosives expert who fought in the army during the Phobos Wars, and thus he knows very well how to handle explosives. If Sadik is a human, he's an amateur bomber who doesn't really care as much about mitigating the destruction he's doing, ironically enough. And there will be, comments to the fact that he doesn't really know what he's doing as far as the explosives go. And later on, toward the end of the game, you find out what his motivation in helping out replicants is, which it's actually a pretty cool one, so I'll leave that to when we get to that point later. And finally, as we close out this video, I think that only fitting that we end with this. Yes, I'm sure you all remember this bit well from Part 8 and the countless, okay, Jeff probably counted, but the many times I died trying to get past this trap. Well, it turns out, I discovered playing through this, but completely by accident, there is an easier way around it. And the trick is that we run out onto the bridge, we run back, draw our gun, shoot the rat, and then we walk back to the bridge, and self-cleaning rat corpse. Yes, it will keep track of the rat being there to pounce you until it dies, at which point it will just respawn as dead, and then you come back and no problem. So I could have just shot the rat on the bridge, run off screen, run back, and all would be hunky-dory. Well, I think that concludes this chapter. Next time, we'll start seeing some of the more meaty bits of how this game ends. We'll see you then.